Hey, how's it going, you guys? This is petplatypus here, and it's time to do something a little bit different. I'm going to be giving you guys a discussion video. It's my first one, so if it's not the greatest, they'll get better over time. So, you read the title, let's get started. Okay, so that was my channel intro. Pretty cool, I think. Just a couple of anime clips cut together, obviously. You guys can tell me if it's too long or whatever. I'm not going to use it for every single video. I don't think an extra 30 seconds needs to be added to like 5-minute videos. But for the longer videos, the discussions, the full series reviews, will have a little bit more production to them. I think that, an intro is appropriate. And I will be cutting in a few pictures here and there in this video. So, what is a good adaptation? Well, let's talk about what we consider to be good adaptations first. Hunter x Hunter 2011, One Piece. Most people say before the time skip. I don't agree. I think the entire anime is a great adaptation. Fairy Tail is a good adaptation. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the first season and the second season. Not the OVAs. The Toriko OVA that was released in 2009. Attack on Titan, Yu Yu Hakusho, I suppose, Dragon Ball Z Kai. Those are some good adaptations. Now let's talk about some bad and, maybe not bad, but a little bit weaker. On the weaker side, Akame ga Kill. On the bad side, Toriko, Toei Animation version. We got the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure OVAs, the Rave Master anime. The Rave Master anime, fuck. I love that manga, oh my god, the anime. Anyways, so yeah, there's that. So to talk about the good ones and what makes them good, well for me, really it comes down to like a criteria of animation, and not just how good the animation is, but its style as well. The sound effects, the music, the voice work, the faithfulness to the material, and the feeling that it gives. Does it give the feeling of that series? Does it understand the tone and everything? Because a lot of people don't really seem to care about that. Like the Toriko OVA, I called it a good adaptation, but I don't think it captures every element of Toriko that it really should capture. But most people love it just because it has the gore, and it has good animation, and it's a little darker than the anime, and okay, but I'll get into it, but but let's just take an example, One Piece. Does it capture the tone of the series? Yes, it captures the tone of the series very well. It has the music, the sound effects, the voice work, the way they set up the comedy that they add to it, the additional scenes that they add, they all feel like One Piece. They feel like they could happen in One Piece. Occasionally they don't, but for the most part, like 90% of the time, the additional scenes feel like One Piece still. And it all comes together very nicely for the most part. Again, I'll go into more detail, but, we'll talk about like a more weaker adaptation. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Let's look at the good first, and we'll look at the good adaptation. It has mixing matching colors. It has, crazy over-the-top bam and pow and stare and, startle and move, and like it pops up all those Japanese letters, and like I said, it has the shifting colors, the hair will change and differ between shots, and it's just, it's really stylized and crazy, and the shading looks different. Sometimes the shading on the body, like wherever it's shaded, it'll have like a pattern and stuff like that. Very much like the color pages of the manga. It follows the story of the manga very faithfully. The music is very energized and very well done. Each time they do a different part following a different JoJo, it's got music that's different and fits each one, as opposed to the OVAs, which I haven't watched all the way through, but they didn't have the art style. They alter the story. I don't think they have the altering color schemes, and they don't seem to be done in such an over-the-top way as in the manga. They're not great adaptations. They don't get that tone, they don't get that feeling of JoJo, that you get from the newer anime. And even with the newer anime first season being a little rushed and having a lot of still frame-ish animation, it still follows the manga. It still has the poses and everything, and you got to have the JoJo pose, but you know. And then you have like weaker anime adaptations. Like I think Akame ga Kill, while technically it's well made, got good animation, music's not terrible, the music doesn't really stand out. A lot of shots from the manga look better than their anime counterparts. They're skipping material, and the art style is way more generic in the anime than the manga. So, you know, I would say it's a weaker adaptation. It's not as well done. And really skipping material, that's another thing. I think after getting the tone right and getting the feeling of the series right, it's faithfulness. Because you're not talking about taking a superhero to a movie and sometimes something in a comic book doesn't work in live action. This is all animation. This is all cartoon drawings being turned into cartoons. You know, I'm not saying anime is cartoons. I know people they get offended by that, but you know what I mean. It's drawings of something being given motion. You can pretty much do everything that was in the manga in the anime, so being faithful and saying, well, it worked in the comic, but it doesn't work in live action, that excuse doesn't apply. Anything that was in the manga can be put in the anime. The only thing that depends is like violence in terms of like time slot and everything, because you know, manga can go pretty violent, anime kind of has to tone it down, but that's the only thing. Actually, that might be why they're skipping the next arc in Akame ga Kill, because it gets fucking whoa. Like, I was fucking shocked. I was like, this is a shonen? Like, whoa, what? But yeah, anyways. And you know, you got just straight shitty adaptation. Rave Master just rearranging the beginning, not showing it in the proper order it was supposed to be, doing these weird flashbacks, but then having characters get met at different times, and throwing in this filler, even though it's the beginning, so why does it have filler? And the animation wasn't all that, and changing the material, or not changing the material, changing the art style. No. Rave Master anime, fuck that shit. It got canceled. Probably wouldn't have been canceled if it was really good. I really hope Rave Master gets a new anime at some point. It's such a good manga. But yeah, those are just some of the things I think an anime really needs to get. And when it comes to the animation, it's not really a matter of, like I said, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the first season, sometimes the animation has some still frames things going on. It's not always super fluid and, you know, exaggerated, but it has a style. There's different animation styles, and people don't really seem to get that. Like, they see something in One Piece or in any series, really, where it's like, oh, the characters kind of moved kind of weird in this scene or whatever. Well, maybe they were supposed to. Maybe it was done in a way where that was the style they were going for. Like, you have Luffy knocks out what was it, 50,000 fishmen with his Hagi? And when they're falling to the ground, it's a fade effect. You could say that that's bad animation because it's not fluid. It's just fading one image to another as they're collapsing. But with the music they put over it and using that fade effect style, it really works, you know. Yeah, technically it's not fluid animation, but that's what they were going for, that fade, you know. They've done it in other cases, like, you know, what's another thing that's done something like that? Like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the color schemes always change, but you can't say that that's an inconsistent color scheme. It's just that's the style. You know, you got to take style into consideration when you're talking about animated scenes. You know, it doesn't always have to be by the books. This needs to look fluid. You know, it can be different. It can be a little more, you know, like Dragon Ball Z. Rapid punch, you know, they're going at it. It's, you know, tight on frames. It's not a ton of frames going on at once. But it looks good. It's fast-paced. That's the style they chose. So, getting the style of the animation and understanding it is really what's important from a fan perspective. Then you have stuff like Akame ga Kill, where it's basically just standard animation all the way through. Akame ga Kill sometimes does like the painted style, which again, it's like, oh, well, that attack was just like a weird painted version. That's kind of cheap. No, that's the style Akame ga Kill's anime wanted to go for. You know, I don't really care for it too much. It's okay, but that's the style, and I can't knock it for that. It's not bad objectively. So those are just some of the things that I consider when looking at an anime and considering if it's a good adaptation or not. Like when you look at Toriko, for example, here's the clear difference between style of animation and bad animation, because you have Toriko. They do this thing where sometimes when something will get killed or destroyed, they'll use like a dissolve effect. Instead of actually animating it, it looks like this pre-done transition effect like dissolve or shatter. That's not really style. That's really just kind of going a little cheap and using something that's a little like Adobe Flash-ish, you know. The scene where Toriko hits Starjin with a spiked punch and Starjin's getting blown back, but it's just like hits his body like this, fade, 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 and he's moving backwards, and it's like, no, that's not. You can tell the difference when it's like Luffy taking out the fishmen, and it's this guy supposedly being hit by a really powerful punch, but having this slow fade backwards. Like, it doesn't work. It's not portrayed right. It doesn't have the music to go along with it. You have to spot that kind of thing. What have I not really gone into? Music. I mean, music, it just has to match the series. One Piece, pirate-ish type music. Music that really fits. You know, there's no, like, crazy techno in One Piece. Whoa. Okay, the light just went out. That's weird. Okay, anyways, and it's back. Okay, well, whatever. I was just going to keep going, but I was kind of fixated on the fact that it went out for a second. Whatevs. Yeah. You know, you're not going to hear any crazy techno dubstep in One Piece's soundtrack, because that just doesn't fit One Piece's style. You know, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 1. Very triumphant music, very orchestrated for Jonathan Joestar. He's very noble. Then you have Joseph Joestar. Music was far more obnoxious, far more loud, used a little bit of dubstep, a little bit of techno. It matches Joseph's style, his fabulous posing and everything. And then you have Part 3 with Jotaro, very rock, very metal, very 80s style music that really matches the, you know, setting. Sound effects. This can vary. You know, you can pretty much use stock effects. They don't need to be amazing. I do like certain sound effects. I think JoJo has really good sound effects. I think Toei in general has really good sound effects for like One Piece and Dragon Ball and Toriko and everything. The music in Toriko was fucking fantastic, by the way. And you can fucking shit on the Toriko anime all you want, but the fucking music is phenomenal. Like, usually I'll listen to an anime, listen to the music, oh yeah, good music, good music. But I like go back to multiple Toriko songs a lot. Like it's got some really fucking good music. So, you know, that's just my opinion, of course, but, you know. But these are just some of the things, like I was saying before, these are just some of the things that I think you need to consider and look at when talking about what is a good adaptation, what is a bad adaptation. Tone, the feeling of the series itself, and does it have that essence from the manga. Faithfulness to the material, the music and everything, all of it working together, not just it has really good animation so it's good. Is the music good? Like I was saying before, the Toriko OVA in 2009, good animation, had the gore from the manga, had certain scenes that were in the manga that weren't in the original episode made by Toei, but it also cut other things out, and it didn't have other certain things that were presented better in the Toei version, and it didn't have the music that the Toei version had, and the art style was a little awkward, especially Komatsu. He looked really flat for some reason, but anyways, you know, it wasn't... It's still a good adaptation. I'd still say it's a better adaptation than the Toriko anime. Well, I mean, it's only one OVA compared to an entire anime. You could probably make a whole video discussing that first episode of Toriko versus the OVA. Maybe I could do a discussion video on that. I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, when you have stuff like Akame ga Kill where it's going to skip a bunch of stuff, and Rave Master where it's going to rearrange things early on and add all this filler here and there, and Full Metal Alchemist, oh fuck. Full Metal Alchemist's anime I don't like, and it's because instead of doing filler or going on break or anything like that, they completely took the story in their own direction, a worse direction than the manga, mind you. And I don't really care for the original anime. It's good, it's not bad at all, it's a good piece of fiction, but the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood anime is just way, way better. And it's a way more faithful adaptation of the manga. I should have mentioned Full Metal Alchemist, but I'm sure this video is going to be long enough. Those are just some of the things, you know. So what do you guys think of this discussion video? What do you guys think makes a good anime adaptation if I didn't mention it? And, yeah, and do you disagree, agree, whatever? So you can, you know, sound off in the comments below. So, thanks for watching this video. Like I said, tell me what you guys thought of this discussion video. They'll get better in the future if this one was kind of boring or whatever. And, yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.